Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing another reading vlog. So today's video is reading horror recommendations from horror authors. This is like something I would love to do with different genre, like for every different genre, asking I don't know, romance author for their romance recommendations or a thriller author for their thriller recommendations. You get the gist. But Lauren came up with this idea and it was all Lauren. Like, she commented on one of my videos and said, like, I would love to recommend you horror for a video. And I was like, oh my god, genius. That is what we're doing. She sent me these books in June. It is obviously October. But I wanted to read these during spooky season, so that is what I'm doing now. I have got a list of 3 books as recommended by Lauren to read for you today, so I will tell you all about them. But first I want to tell you about our horror author. Today's horror author who is going to be giving me my recommendations is Lauren Carter. Now, first of all, should probably explain that Lauren Carter is one of my bestest friends in the whole wide world, and I'm very lucky to have her in my life. Does that make me biased? No. She writes some of the best horror books I've ever read. Unbiased opinion. Mostly novellas. Some of my favorites, I have 2 of them here, but also The Damned with the Dead, which I also really love. If you subscribe to her newsletter, you get a free book. I'm pretty sure you get the Lobby one, I think. But don't hold me against it. But you do get a free book. But the favorites, as I said, are The Damned with the Dead, Your Darling Death, and When the Demons Take Hold. Linked below, so make sure you go and check them out. And thank you so much, Lauren, for giving me some recommendations. I so appreciate this. So Lauren has given me 3 book recommendations with a very small description about what they are, like what kind of horror they are, and nothing else. And I am not going to look up anything else either. I'm going to go in completely surprised. Lauren has, I would say, quite different taste when it comes to horror to me, although saying that, she did recommend the Darcy Coates books to me and put me on to Darcy Coates, who I absolutely love. So maybe not as far apart as I think we are, but I know that Lauren reads a lot of slasher and seriously scary stuff, and I don't know if that's for me. Pretty sure that they like Stephen King, and I do not like Stephen King. So I'm a little nervous about this challenge. Actually, terrified about this challenge. But the 3 books that have been recommended to me are Slice of Cherry by Dia Reeves. This is a fantasy supernatural based horror where 2 sisters are the daughter of a serial killer decide to give it a try for themselves. That sounds amazing. That sounds really fun. I want to know where the fantasy supernatural bit comes into that, because that to me just sounds like a regular slasher horror about 2 girls killing people. The fantasy and the supernatural coming into it is so intriguing to me. So yeah, I will be reading Slice of Cherry by Dia Reeves in this video. The second one is Plastic Monsters by Daniel J. Volpe. This is a body splatterpunk horror. I'm most terrified for this one. Even the cover is absolutely horrific. A woman obsessed with beauty seeks out a madman to make her beautiful. What do I even say to this one? This one sounds absolutely horrific. I don't want to read it. I'm not excited about it. I'm absolutely terrified. I'm pretty sure there's going to be like him probably cutting up her face or something, and the thought of it actually makes me shake. The cover makes me ill. I just am so nervous for this one. Terrified, actually. But the fact that Lauren likes it so much leads me to believe that it won't be bad. It'll be good, even if it's terrifying. And I do want to get into more splatterpunk horror. I've been seeing a lot of them going around lately, but the ones I've seen, like I've seen The Playground and stuff, I think that's splatterpunk horror, but also I've heard that that's just horrific and I just don't want to read it. So I don't know, I want to get into this new thing of genre. I think my horror recommendations video should be up by now, and if you've watched that, you'll see me say that I'm trying to get into horror more and more. That involves reading more types of horror, so I'm going to try and read the splatterpunk horror and hopefully love it. Next we have The Return by Rachel Harrison. This is a mystery horror, and after 2 years of being missing, Julie reappears with no memory of where she's been or what happens to her. I have actually recently read a Rachel Harrison book, Such Sharp Teeth, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't what I was expecting, not quite the horror I was expecting, but I've heard that her other books are a lot more scary, so I am nervous about this. But this one sounds really fun. Mystery horror sounds really good. The missing person with no memory of where they came from. very much a thing I like in books. I can't decide which one I'm most excited for. Probably Slice of Cherry or The Return, because I'm so nervous about that splatterpunk horror. I can't even begin to tell you. But I am also excited. Ignore the fact my bed sheets aren't on my bed. They're there drying. I washed my bed sheets today. I just wanted to give you a really quick update to let you know that I started reading Slice of Cherry while in the bath this evening, hence the wet hair. I'm not far in. I'm reading the ebook on Scribd and it says I'm at page 98 out of 395. So I'm only a quarter of the way through. However, so far I'm really enjoying it and I thought I'd tell you a bit more. Follow Francie and Kit, who are two teenagers whose dad is on death row for being a serial killer. Then it kind of turns out that they may have the same very dark, twisted sense of entertainment, I guess. It's a little bit weird, like there's some like, I guess, magical elements to it that haven't been fully explained yet, but there's definitely like talks of portals and witchery. There's also some discussions on slavery, because the main family is black and they were ancestors ago owned by a white woman. I think there's going to be more discussions on that later on in the book, or I hope so at least. I think that'd be quite interesting. And I'm wondering if that'll have something to do with the book and like the magical elements that have not yet been properly explored. I am just so intrigued. It is gruesome in the way that things are described. It's a bit graphic, but I'm having a really good time and I really like following Francie and Kit. Like they're very polar opposite children, but they have a really good like sister bond friendship, which is really weird. They're like inseparable. I have no idea where this is going. Not an idea at all. I know it's gonna go somewhere weird. I just have no idea how weird. There was like one moment that I was absolutely howling at where these two guys walk up to the two girls and they're like, oh, I don't know if you remember us. And they were like, oh yeah, our dad murdered your mum. Or our dad murdered your dad. I can't remember which one. And they were like, yeah, that's us. And I'm just like, really? Really? Can you imagine doing that? It's such an odd book. Really odd. But yeah, I've had my bath. I've read 100 pages. I'm now going to go watch The Fall of the House of Usher. I think that's the new Netflix series in the like the haunting of line, and I'm so excited about it. So I'm gonna go watch that because it is Friday the 13th, so it's proper spooky vibes tonight, hence the horror book and the horror movie or horror TV show, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna go, but I wanted to update you that I had started a book, and yeah, I'll let you know how it goes as I go through it. I'm determined to finish this book today because it is Tuesday. I have not read since Wednesday. I have such a busy week and it's going to only get busier from tomorrow. Today is like my last chance to really finish this book. So I've sat down today and I've been reading. I'm at page 247, so I have 150 left. I'm really enjoying it so far. I hate reading on my laptop. I never read on Scribd. This is the first time I've read an entire ebook on Scribd. So that definitely doesn't help because I feel really uncomfortable. So I got into bed to try and help maybe lay on my side to scroll because it's just such a annoying situation. Well, that's going to make my life a lot easier. Never mind. Didn't know it did that. Okay. I'm going to leave that in. Anyway, I'm really enjoying the story. It's so weird and wacky. The only thing is I'm super angry. Kit and Fancy are so aggravating. I want to... I don't understand how Kit can go from being this murderous child to being like, Fancy, no, blah. Like, Fancy, Kit has just completely changed personality types and she is such an annoying person. Like, I literally can't stand her. Fancy is, like, neither of them are good people. It's a book about kids who murder. I mean, they're not exactly great. But I'm getting so annoyed by the both of them. I literally hate them. I hate Kit more, but I hate both of them. I like the weirdness of it. Like, it's definitely, like, not a normal horror. It's, like, a magical realism, slightly fantastical ish horror. I'm really enjoying it. I like the writing style. It feels so weird. It feels like a coming of age story while being a horror. It's really, really different to anything I've ever read before. I I think I'd be enjoying it a lot more if I didn't absolutely hate the characters. And I don't hate them because they're murderers. That doesn't bother me at all. Well, that came across wrong. But you know what I mean? Like, that's not the part that annoys me about them. So, yeah, I'm going to go continue. I will probably update you when I'm finished now, because as I said, about 150 pages left to go. And yeah, I'm going to enjoy it a bit more now that I can read it sideways. I can't believe I didn't know about that. That's hilarious. Yes, I'm still in bed in my pajamas. I have finished the book, and I have so many thoughts running through my head. First of all, I think that Dia Reeves' writing style is so interesting, so unique, so brilliant. This is YA, but it kind of spans all ages because the characters are obviously not young. The characters are really weird. They're obviously not young. I don't know if it mentioned their ages, but they're obviously around the 16 age. However, Fancy especially reads like a 11-year-old, if not younger, which makes a lot of this book quite uncomfortable. She is excessively talked about as being childlike. And even at one point, one of the guys says, it makes you feel uncomfortable to like you and fancy you, makes me feel like I'm a weirdo. I found that very, very uncomfortable. Incredibly uncomfortable. And when there was some scenes where, I don't know, like heavy makeout scenes and other things, I felt so uncomfortable. Number one, because it's a 16-year-old, and obviously that not something I want to be reading. But because she'd been made out to be so young. And I understood her reasoning. Everyone was saying, why do you still wear girls' dresses that are too big for you? And she was like, too small for you. Because they were like cutting into her shoulders and stuff. And she was like, well, I don't want men to look at me any more than they do. I get it. I get the like message of that. I do. But I think for me personally, I did just feel really uncomfortable about it and I couldn't quite get over that part. I really liked the story. I found it very interesting. I found it very weird and wonderful. I think a lot of people wouldn't like it because it doesn't have a direct story. Like the story is just about these two girls who kill and also like coming of age and familial relationships and like the turbulence between sisters, young love. It's such an odd concept for a book because it's so weird. But I really, really enjoyed that part. I think overall, I want to give it a 3, maybe a 3.5, because whilst I really enjoyed it, as I said, there were moments I felt a bit uncomfy and sentences that were said that I didn't love. But mainly, my main criticism of this book is for me personally, it was way too long. Way too long. This book should have been 200 pages max. Like, this was double the length it needed to be. I don't understand why it was so long. But I will say I did just go on Goodreads to mark it as read. And when I don't usually go through the reviews until after I've spoken to you, but I read the top 2 or 3 and they all said it was too long. It does say here that it's part of the Portero universe, and the author's debut novel, Bleeding Violet, is in this, and I would definitely be interested in picking that up too. Like, as I said, I really enjoyed this author's writing style, and I really enjoyed the concept of this book and the way the book was executed. I think it was a really, really good and very unique and interesting book. My only criticism is a little bit shorter would have been nice, which I'm not gonna lie is something I wish for a lot of the time. I think a lot of books are too long. However, I think this book was a really, really good book. I would definitely recommend it. I have read a lot of YA horror, but this was definitely like YA horror on crack for me because I have not read such gruesome, graphic serial killer horror before. And I really enjoyed it. Like, I felt like it was the perfect mix of slasher, which I'm not really used to and I find quite difficult to read, mixed with fun magical realism. Like, I really did enjoy it. I'm going to take a break from this video because it is Tuesday. I have, as I said, I have a really busy week the rest of the week, but also Liam is going to London this weekend. I'm going to be home alone, but I don't want to be reading scary horror, especially plastic monsters, which I'm terrified for, when I'm home alone on a weekend. So I might start The Return by Rachel Harrison over the next few days, but I'm probably not going to finish it Or because I'm not going to be reading it this weekend because I'm going to be too scared. I'm going to be reading nice fluffy romances this weekend. Weekend has happened, so now I am no longer living alone for the weekend. I can finally carry on with this vlog. So I have started The Return by Rachel Harrison, which is my next read, and I'm 25% the way through, so I thought I'd give you a little update. Basically following Julie, Molly, May, and then our main character, whose name I can't quite remember. And Julie, is it Julie that's gone missing? Or is it Julie the main character? Julie went missing for 2 years and then returned. This is a very intriguing premise to me. I love stories like that. There's like this gap in her memory, very Agatha Christie style, you know, she doesn't remember what's happened to her. Our main characters, you know, they're kind of like, do they believe her, do they not? Either way, she's come back and she's just a little bit different. That is all we've learned so far. Nothing more has been said or mentioned. We know nothing more, but I am really enjoying it so far. I have read a Rachel Harrison recently. I read Such Sharp Teeth and I really enjoyed it, but I was disappointed because I was expecting something different. Like I felt like I was expecting this paranormal thriller and it was kind of more of a romance for me. So I didn't love it. But the writing in this, first of all, very creepy, very mess with the mind kind of style. Like there's things that I can't tell if you have an unreliable narrator, if she's maybe losing her grip on reality. I don't know what's happening so far, but I'm so intrigued. The friendship group has a really weird dynamic and I don't know if I like them or not. I don't know if I'm supposed to like them. I'm just so intrigued. I'm so invested. And I cannot wait to read more of this. I would love to finish it today because I need to hurry up on this video. So yeah, I'm gonna go and carry on reading and I'll let you know when I have any updates. Ignore my very wet hair, by the way. I had a shower. I just wanted to give an example of why I think she's an unreliable narrator, but I could just be thinking too far into it. But for example, she just turned up at the dinner table 10 minutes late. She was like, oh, where is everyone? Sorry, I'm 10 minutes late, blah, blah, blah. Then a few pages later, she's talking about how they get annoyed when people wait inside the restaurant, not at the restaurant. And then she said, but this is more of a Judy thing because I'm never late. But she was just late. So I'm like, I don't know if I like trust our narrator. Like, I feel like she could be an unreliable narrator from things like that. Maybe I'm reading too far into it and that was just, I don't know, a mistake, I guess. But I'm interested to read more and see what's happening. I am at 75% this book. This is a hot water bottle, by the way. I have 25% left and I have absolutely no idea where this is going. This could go in any direction. I'll have absolutely no idea. I'm so intrigued and also very nervous. I'll update you when I finished it, but I just want to let you know how close I am and that I have 0 predictions. I have finished The Return by Rachel Harrison, the second book for this vlog. And I don't know how to feel. First of all, I want to say I really, really enjoyed this book, but it has its flaws. I think overall I want to give it a 4-star. Like I really, really enjoyed this book. I really, really enjoy Rachel Harrison's writing style, and I really want to pick up a 3rd book from them, 100%. But I need to discuss some things. First of all, this has a fairly low rating on Goodreads of a 3.3, which it is something that if I'd known before I pick up a book, I don't tend to pick up that book. Obviously, I would have picked up this one because it was for a video. But for the most part, like that is quite a low rating in my eyes. And I can see where everyone is coming from. I think that this is such a weird, over-the-top, dramatized horror. I love that for it. Like, that's what made me like it. It's so gross. It's 100% like body horror grimness. I like that a lot. I really enjoyed that part. I actually noticed that as much as I'm a scaredy cat, I really like body horror. It's in a lot of the horrors that I read, as long as it's not too far. It's not too far, which is what I'm worried about in the next book, Plastic Monsters, and I'm putting off quite a lot. I don't want to spoil anything for this book. I will say that where I said I have no idea where this book is going to go, I thought that's because the things they'd already told us were going to be things that threw us off the scent. But actually, I would say those things that threw us off the scent were actually just telling me exactly how this was going to end. And so really, I should have just trusted the book more to have just been telling me the truth. I really thought this was going to be a case of unreliable narrator. You were going to be shocked, huge twist. I really did think that, and it's not like that. There's a reveal at the end, but I feel like the book was pretty clear in telling you what that reveal was going to be throughout the story. I really enjoyed the setting. The whole hotel setting was really, really good, and I loved seeing Elise kind of become more and more unsettled. And at first I thought it was her, and as I told you, being an unreliable narrator, but then her friends started to feel the same. And there was just a lot of things that I was super intrigued by, and a lot of things I think I've missed out on, and on a reread I would need to discover more about, like the thermostat. I can only think it's because a certain someone liked it cold and was in there a lot. But I really, really enjoyed this. I enjoyed it for what it was. I understand why most people wouldn't really love this, but I really, really, really enjoyed it. And I think that it was a super creepy story. This is such an odd, peculiar situation and problem to have, but I need to talk about it because I don't know what to do. Well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to buy it on my laptop. But I'm trying to buy Plastic Monsters so I can read it today on Amazon. And obviously, you cannot buy Amazon Kindle books on the Amazon app now. You have to buy them through browser, which is fine. Except for some reason, usually when I click a link, it'll say, do you want to open the app or carry on in the browser? It won't say that to me today. It just keeps popping up with the app. So I cannot get onto Amazon to buy the thing. It doesn't matter if I type the URL, if I click links, it won't take me to the Amazon browser, which is so aggravating because I'm just trying to buy the book. So I'm going to have to go now set up my laptop to buy this ebook. And I know it's so trivial, but I just felt like I needed to share the fact that I've been sitting here for 5 minutes, like, oh my god, just open the goddamn app so I don't have to move. Because I'm literally sat here with my Kindle ready to go. We will be reading Plastic Monsters today. And pray to God finishing it, because I just don't want to prolong this experience any more than I have to. So hopefully we will read and love Plastic Monsters today. In case you're wondering how this is going, Amazon saying that and will not give me my book. My bank saying the money's been taken, you have nothing to approve. So, don't know how I'm going to read this. But I'm trying. No joke, and it's been stuck on queued for so long. What is wrong? The world does not want me to read this book. We're restarting the Kindle. Because it still won't download and it's been like 20 minutes. Right, okay. Something is telling me this is not going to be a book for me. We did it! We have it open. We did it. Now I'm going to go read for a bit and I'll update you when I know what the hell this story's about. Okay, I'm only at 10%, but I did want to give a bit of an update on kind of like what it's about so far. So we're following our main character, Pam, who we start off in 2002 when she's in school, and you can instantly tell how self-conscious she is. So her body is, in her eyes, imperfect, and everybody around her thinks that, you know, their bodies are perfect in her eyes, and she's talking about how her boobs are very saggy and all these things. And then we flash forward to her as an adult, and she's spending all of her money on these products to become perfect. She's still got her boobs that she's not happy with, but she has everything else is well manicured. Like, she talks about her bottom area. I don't know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube, but her bottom area is very well manicured and waxed and perfect and all those things. And she's cringing at other people on the bus for not having like manicured nails and stuff. So she seems to have become the judger in this scenario, which I'm finding this super interesting so far. Like, I really like the way it's gone from her being bullied in school for her appearance to her not bullying people for their appearance, but she is judging other people for their appearance, which I think is super, super interesting. I find her obsession with looks so fascinating. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of message surrounding this book about beauty and vanity and women. So far, this is the most compelling beginning of all of the books, I'd say. So that's a really, really good start for considering how terrified I am of this cover. So, yeah. I don't like anything. I do like body horror, but I don't like anything like graphic, like the way she's like completely sewn up. It's giving Frankenstein and I'm scared of it. The slut shaming coming from Pam right now. This woman in the office has done nothing but have a boob job. Good for her. What a slay. And she's been called every name under the sun. Pam. Pam, Pam, Pam. Jealousy does not look good on you. She could almost feel the severed tongue in her grasp, like a giant gummy worm, rough and warm and dripping gore. Ew. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. I'm actually tearing up. I don't like that one bit. Oh, that's made me feel very uncomfortable. I am as surprised as you when I say I think this was my favourite of the bunch. I'm so shocked, but I absolutely love this. So, as I said to you, it's an exploration of beauty, and our main character, Pam, is an interesting character. I think unlikable is definitely not the word for it. This was wild. I literally just finished and I just have to talk to you straight away. This was wild. It was very gruesome, especially for me. I found that this was very, very gruesome. And there were moments that I was like, huh, absolutely not. Like, it obviously has a lot of focus on boobs. And let me tell you, mine hurt. Like, I had like sympathy pains for the boobs. I was like, oh my God. There was one point with a male nether regions and I was having pain where I do not even have male nether regions. This book is so descriptive that I feel unwell. However, the story, the message, I think if I was ever going to try another splatterpunk horror, it's gonna be this author. It's gonna be this author because I absolutely loved his writing. I loved the way he explored things. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked the end. I feel like it was the only way for it to have ended. I really liked it. I haven't really got much to say on it because I'm just so in shock, really. All the things I feared about it were true. Like, I really worried it was going to be too graphic for me, and it was borderline too graphic for me. Like, I feel really unwell. Like, I can't even turn my neck because if I turn my neck too much, I don't know why, I'll notice a tendon or something and I just can't. Like, my body is very, like, yeah, you know, like gross right now. I'm feeling very, very unwell. But at the same time, I absolutely loved it. And I think the story was so well done for what it was meant to be. Like, for me, I would have thought a gory splatterpunk horror, bearing in mind I have no experience with that, would have been not very plot heavy because the focus would have been the gore. But I found that this was really plot heavy. Like, I think it was really well developed. I think the characters were in good enough depth for what their purpose served. Like, yes, they didn't have this massive backstory, but nor did they need to. I honestly feel like with every book in this video, I've not really given a very good review or end of book wrap up at all. And like, I'm really worried that this video is going to be terrible, but the thing is, I just don't have anything to provide to the conversation other than my enjoyment levels. I really enjoyed this one. I think The Return was really good. I really enjoyed that one. I really enjoyed Slice of Cherry, and they all have provided me something different. So basically, I guess to do an overall wrap up, the more I think about Slice of Cherry, the more I like it. I think it's this weird mix of a YA horror that's just really dark, and I loved the connection between the two sisters and the magical realism weirdness of it all. So I think like that, yes, I gave it 3.5, but I think like between a 3.5 and a 4. The Return, I think, was slower paced and I guess more predictable than I thought it was going to be because I thought I had no idea where it was going to go. But I'm really into those kind of, I'm going to call it paranormal horror because that's what I would say it is without trying to give spoilers. And I really enjoyed that. That's kind of horror I would normally read, and I have read from Rachel Harrison before. So that was more my comfort zone horror, and I really, really enjoyed it. This one was so far out of my comfort zone, something I've never tried before, something I would have never read without Lauren's recommendation, and yet I absolutely loved it. So I'm giving this a 4 as well. So Lauren did incredible. for this video. Absolutely incredible. And I'm so annoyed with myself for having waited so long to pick this up. I had a really good time with this video and these recommendations and these reads. Thank you so much, Lauren. Again, if you have not checked out Lauren, all of Lauren's links will be down below, and you should definitely check all the books out because Lauren writes the best books. Thank you so much for watching, and I guess I shall see you in the next one where we revert back to more of my comfort zone, I hope. But I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.